Hello and welcome back to my channel. Let me just turn that sound off. There you go. Labour says it's now entering phase 2 of government. Now, what does that actually mean for everybody? Well, anybody's guess really. Phase 1 is obviously an implementation or setup stage. Phase 2 is an execution stage. I use the execution word very wisely, of course. But what does that actually mean? Is it just political spin, or does it really change how Britain will be run? Today, I'm going to break down phase 2 and who's going to be in charge, and most importantly, what it means for you, your money, and the UK economy, which of course right now is a little bit of a disaster. So I'm Lyndon Wood. If you're new here, I simplify the economy, politics, and money. My background is business since the age of 16, now of course a young 54, and sold my insurance business to private equity 4 years ago. So I manage my own capital. I share what I've become to understand, not for subscribers, but to help everybody gain some insight and protect your money, in particular when taxes are increasing and energy is increasing and everything else is just bloody increasing. So look, I do this to share. It's a little hobby of mine, and I enjoy doing it. So phase 1 recap for the Labour government. After the election, Labour of course spent its first few months setting up government, appointing ministers and stabilising things. That was phase 1, all about structure, early signals. Now they want to show progress, and that's where phase 2 comes in. Because of course the progress they've tried to make right now just hasn't worked, quite frankly. So what does phase 2 mean? Well, phase 2, a bit like a business, I suppose. You go through the setup stage, then you go through the execution stage, and so on. So phase 2 is about delivery and control, as if they haven't got enough. It's Labour's saying we've stopped just talking about priorities. Now we're executing policies, especially on the economy, and we're pulling power away from the Treasury, putting it into Downing Street. Why? Well, because the Treasury often blocks spending and innovation. Starmer's team wants number 10, not the Treasury, to be in the driver's seat. Now, from personal experience, accountants don't make good business people because they're too prudish, they're too profit-led in terms of make profit today, and many just don't understand the future profits from investments, and that's in majority, not everybody. There are some good ones out there, but so far my 34 years experience in business shows that accountants make rubbish business owners. Again, majority, not everybody. So the key players, 2 big appointments, show how serious this shift is. Darren Jones, now Chief Secretary to the Prime Minister. Well, he's effectively Starmer's deputy inside number 10, really. That's his job, to make sure that Labour's priorities actually get delivered, not buried in civil service paperwork, and there's a lot of that. Baroness, can't pronounce her name, but Baroness Minouche Shafik, excuse me if I've got that wrong, Baroness, a heavyweight economist, ex-London Stock Exchange, World Bank and IMF, International Monetary Fund, of course. She's advising number 10 directly, giving Labour credibility with markets, businesses and international investors. So, the focus areas. Phase 2 has 3 clear themes. Economic delivery, showing visible results, jobs, infrastructure and NHS investment, whilst sticking to tight fiscal rules. Now, me for one, I'd love to see the NHS middle management be dissolved. I'd love to see the wastage stopped on the NHS. Paying £1,000 to change a light bulb kind of scenario, and really tighten up on those monetary controls. But let's see. Power shift. Starmer wants to wrestle back control from the Treasury for obvious reasons, and we've just explained that earlier. Communication reset. Branding this as a new phase makes it look like progress, momentum and control, and to make it look like what they've done so far was planned, rather than reactive. So what this means for you? Well, here's where it matters. If Labour succeeds, you might see more investment and stability, but also tighter control over spending. If they fail, expect frustration from businesses and voters before the next election. There's an awful lot of frustration right now from businesses and from individuals with the upcoming autumn budget, October the 30th, I think it is, and the threat of NI on rent, tax increases, reducing the VAT threshold from 90,000 to 30,000, which will bring in up to 2.7 million small businesses will have to then start charging VAT. Of course, that has its own consequences. And for investors and SMEs, this phase is about predictability. Few surprises, more focus on economic credibility. But let's see. I have no trust in Keir Starmer myself because of the lies and proven lies that he's come out with since he's been in office and before he got voted into office. So looking ahead, and don't be surprised if there's a phase 3 down the line, likely framed around results, growth, and preparing for the next election. Each phase is as much about perception as it is about policy. So phase 2 isn't a new manifesto. It's Labour's way of saying we're moving from promises to delivery because they've broken every promise so far. The real test is whether people will feel that delivery in their lives. And of course, I have my doubts. As you can tell, I'm not a fan of Labour purely because of the way they're treating the country, the economy, and of course, its people. So what do you think? Will Labour phase 2 actually change the UK economy? Or is it just political branding? Let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoy this video. Subscribe if you want. Don't if you don't. It's no big deal. I'd love it if you did. But let me know what you think in the comments.